If you are ready to sing your heart out and dance the night away, today we are transforming our home into the Mediterranean for an absolutely, fabulous Mamma Mia movie night. So everything is super easy, so you can throw this together this weekend. So we're going to start by upgrading your room. So some of the Greek islands, like Santorini or Mykonos, are known for their whitewashed buildings and those bright blue roofs, windows, and doors. Now that color combination is the fastest way of capturing the Greek islands in your own living room. So we're going to mix and match how you lay these colors out. So in my case, I'm going to use a crisp white tablecloth for my makeshift table so we can reach the food from our bean bags. Then I'm going to team it up with a bright blue table runner. So just a little quick tip, you can find poplin fabric for just a few dollars, either a yard or a meter, at a crafting or fabric store. And usually that's in a huge range of colors. So on top of this, I'm mostly going to be using white dishes for contrast, but then I'm also going to add in a few extra splashes of blue to this room. If you happen to have these on hand, that's great. If not, no big deal. But I'm going to throw a blue throw for anyone who gets chilly, and I found some vases that I've painted blue that hold my greenery. Which brings me to my second decorating tip, bring in that nature. So Greece is known for its olive trees, plus you're likely to see grapevines, lemons, and fragrant flowers like hydrangeas and bougainvillea, which are all commonly found on the islands. So depending on what you have available, where you are, you can choose one or two of those to include in your room. And then to finish that off, I'm going to create that natural essence of Greece by adding an earthy whiff of wild herbs like oregano and rosemary to water in my essential oil diffuser. Finally, you want to recreate the magic of a warm evening on a Greek island. So when the sun dips below the horizon on those Greek islands, you get these like street lights that cast a soft glow down the roads. So to recreate that magic, you're going to hang string lights around your room. Now personally, I like to keep my string lights nice and neat so no one trips. So I wove mine through the olive trees, but I also filled glass jars with them. If you do own lanterns, a really nice option as well is to fill them with flickering candles. So it adds another layer of atmosphere. But I do suggest putting candles in lanterns. That way no one kicks them or knocks them over along the way. Now that our room is set up, let's shake up some cocktails you can choose from for the night. So just as a side note, all the recipes I'm giving you are ready to serve for 4 people. So of course I had to do a Mamma Mia margarita to dance around the room too. So to start, we're going to make a sugar syrup. So you're going to stir together a 1/4 cup of granulated sugar and a 1/4 cup of boiling water. And give that a stir until the sugar is dissolved. Then you're going to pour that into your cocktail shaker with a large ice cube. Then add in 8 ounces of tequila and 2 ounces of Cointreau. You're going to want to squeeze 8 ounces of fresh lemon juice, which is about 4 lemons. And I am going to point out, please make sure it is fresh. You can tell the difference when you're using bottled lemon juice versus fresh, and the bottled stuff is not great when you're making cocktails. So you're going to toss in another large ice block, press that cocktail shaker lid firmly on so it doesn't go flying off, and then give it a shake for 20 or 30 seconds. And you're going to know it's chilled because the shaker gets frosty on the outside. So to serve margaritas, there are actual margarita glasses, which is preferred, and that's what I'm going to use here. But if you don't have them, that's okay. We can just grab a martini glass or even just like your widest drinking glass that you have in your cupboard. The main thing is you have as wide a rim as you can because we're going to salt that. So you're going to grab a leftover lemon and you're going to wipe that around the rim of a glass. Then on a plate, you want to sprinkle coarse sea salt and make sure it is sea salt, not table salt. And then you're going to twist that damp cocktail glass rim into that salt. And that lemon juice is going to make sure that salt sticks to the ridge. So you always get that taste, which brings out the flavors of the cocktail. So pour the margarita between those 4 glasses and you are ready to serve. Next, we are shaking up a Dancing Queen Daiquiri. So to make this inspired by Greece, we're going to make this a pomegranate daiquiri. So I couldn't help it. I had to add some of my geeky love of food history in here. So the pomegranate has a very long history in Greece, and you can usually find that in Greek mythology. Most are going to know it from the myth of Hades and Persephone. And symbolically, the pomegranate has come to mostly represent life, fertility, and regeneration. So like the margarita, we're going to start by making your sugar syrup. So we're going to stir together a 1/4 cup of granulated sugar and a 1/4 cup of boiling water and give that a stir until the sugar is dissolved. Then you're gonna add that to your cocktail shaker with a large ice cube. And we're also gonna pour in 8 ounces of white rum, 8 ounces of fresh lime juice, and 8 ounces of pomegranate juice. Hopefully your lid will just squeeze on like mine. And then you're gonna give that a really good shake and serve that in martini glasses. Finally, a crowd-pleasing pitcher full of Super Trouper Sangria. So to give this a tasty Greek twist, I'm going to be replacing the brandy with metaxa, which is a Greek spirit. So basically it's brandy, but it's also combined with muscat wine, and it has all these botanicals infused in with it as well, like anise and rose petals. Now this is one you should make the night before, so it has time for the flavors to all melt together. So in a pitcher, you're going to add 750 mils of red wine, 2.5 cups of orange juice, 2.5 cups of lemonade, half a cup of metaxa. You're also going to pop in 1 Granny Smith apple that's been cored and chopped. Don't worry about the skin, that can stay on. And also a 1/4 cup of granulated sugar. You're also going to add in half a cup of fresh lemon juice and 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, or 1 cinnamon stick if you have it on hand. You're going to give that all a good stir together in the pitcher and then pop that in the fridge overnight. Before you serve it, you are going to want to strain that sangria through a sieve into a clean pitcher. Whew, your drinks are sorted. So we're going to move on to 4 different food options you can choose from, or mix and match. The first is a super easy topping for your microwave popcorn. We're going to upgrade it with savory Mediterranean flavors. So we're going to mix together 1.5 tablespoons of dried oregano, 1.5 teaspoons of dried marjoram, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, and 1 teaspoon of sea salt. You're going to want to grind that all together in a mortar and pestle. Now you can make this mix earlier in the week, so if you want to prep and store that in an airtight container, that's perfectly fine. And then when you pop your 2 bags of microwave popcorn to serve 4 people, you just sprinkle that popcorn topping onto the bowl and you serve that up hot. So a charcuterie platter is one of my favorites when I have get-togethers, and the Greeks are known for their meze platters. So the difference between the two is really just what you put on them. So for this gimme 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 Greek grazing gourmet platter, I'm going to include some olives. So you can include green, black, Kalamata, or you can find ones that are infused with garlic and herbs. We're also going to include dolmades, which are grapevine leaves stuffed with herbed rice. To go with the olives, you definitely need some Greek feta cheese. I am going to note the Greek part because there are different types of feta, such as Danish feta. Scoop into some small dipping bowls hummus, which is a chickpea and tahini dip, and tzatziki, which is a cucumber, garlic, and yogurt dip. You can make these if you like, or you can usually find these in the store pretty easily. And of course, we need Greek pita bread for dipping. So the best way of serving this is you slice the pita into triangles, you brush those with olive oil, and then you fry them for 2 minutes on both sides. Just to note, there actually is a difference between Greek pita bread and Turkish bread. So Greek is fluffier and really the one we want to finish off this delicious Greek gourmet platter. For those with a sweet tooth, nothing says love more than a decadent selection of Greek treats. So some of these you can find in stores, and others, like the cookies, you can find recipes online if you want to try your hand at them. Definitely worth it. Baklava is the first and the easiest to find in stores, so we're going to include this first on our platter. This sweet and sticky treat is layered with phyllo pastry, chopped nuts, and honey syrup. Ravani is a syrupy coconut cake with chopped nuts. That comes next. And then there's, and let's hope I don't bungle this name, melo macarona, which is usually served at Christmas, but is delicious at any time of the year. It is a spiced honey cookie, and it is definitely worth baking to finish off your dessert platter. So we've got popcorn covered, charcuterie board, dessert. We are ready to go for tonight. But if you want something a little bit more substantial to serve up for dinner for your movie night, you are going to want SOS Sofa Souvlaki. So some of these ingredients you're going to want to prep the day before. You can chop your lettuce, so you're going to want 4 cups of romaine or cos lettuce, 1 cup of chopped cucumber, and about 12 mini Roma tomatoes, which are quartered. As you're chopping, just keep in mind the trick about this dish is you're trying to easily eat it on the sofa without making a mess. So when you're chopping, just make sure it's all bite-sized. And that salad you can store in a large airtight container overnight, ready for dinner the next day. You're also going to be marinating your lamb. So at the very least, this does need to be mixed 2 hours before you cook so the flavors have enough time to melt together. In a bowl, you're going to mix together a 1/4 cup of good quality olive oil. That's very important, good quality. 2 garlic cloves that are crushed and chopped. 1 cup of finely chopped red onion. You're also going to add in a 1/2 teaspoon of dried thyme, 1.5 teaspoons of dried rosemary, 1/2 teaspoon of dried marjoram, and a 1/4 teaspoon of ground black pepper, give or take. You're also going to pour in a 1/4 cup of fresh lemon juice and then mix that in with 500 grams of cubed lamb. Again, make sure the cubes are bite-sized, please. Then cover and pop that in the fridge overnight. So about 20 minutes before your movie is about to begin, you're going to want to start pulling this dish together. So you're going to start by frying up some Greek pita bread, same as you did for your charcuterie board. So you can do this at the same time if you're going to serve up both. You're going to brush the pita with olive oil on both sides. For this dish, I tend to fry these up as whole pieces. So I'll fry 2 minutes on both sides. Because you've prepped your salad the day before, you just need to pop those ingredients evenly between 4 bowls. And then you're going to slice that pita bread into quarters and tuck those into the dish as well. Finally, you're going to heat up your grill pan, fry the lamb for 5 minutes, and then stir, and then fry again for another 5 minutes. You're going to spread that across the 4 bowls, add a dollop of tzatziki, and then you're ready to serve. So, whew, you are set for a movie night. Your room is set up, your cocktails are at the ready, food is on standby. So now you are ready to host your own Mamma Mia movie night this weekend.